Hello to everyone. In this section, we will see how to visualize TOUGH model using TOUGH2Viewer. First of all, you must download your version of TOUGH2Viewer. TOUGH2Viewer is a standalone executable that you can download from this website. After that, you can start TOUGH2Viewer by simply clicking the executable file. You must unzip in a desired folder your downloaded file, and then you can run the TOUGH2Viewer. In this case, we need of the latest version of TOUGH2Viewer. So, for example, you can go here in TOUGH2Viewer in the Help menu and check for updates. So in this case, my version is the latest one, but if you want to be sure that you get the newer one for this visualization, you must follow this link, for example, and then get the 25 February 4 version of the TOUGH2Viewer version. So after that, you must download your data to be visualized in TOUGH2Viewer. In this section, we will use these data that you can take from the geothermal database record at this link. Here you can see the title of these datasets, and you can download the file. You will get a folder like this. This is my unzipped folder that contains the file description and the data that is inside. If you click on the final simulation input data, you can get, for example, a list of test case, and we will focus on in this section on the first folder that contains these files: the flow imp, the income file, and the mesh file. This folder will be not present in your data because has been created by the TOUGH2Viewer. But in any case, just little analyze the income data. Income data contains all elements, and for each element we have the pressure and the temperature. And we have these values for all blocks contained in the mesh file. If we analyze the mesh file, we have the elements, the rock type, the volume, that in this case has been set as infinite for this kind of elements, and plus the coordinates in the 3D space. By the way, we can now launch TOUGH2Viewer. We can select Open Structure Grid because at this time we have no other information about the geometry of the model. We select the mesh file, and we select the mesh. Open. So in this case, we have not the output file from TOUGH. So in this case, we must proceed with the next button, that is Create Empty Model. So now an empty model has been created. You can see from here that we have 100,000 of elements plus, okay. Then we can also import the income file. So income file has been successfully. Okay. Now for this exercise, we will create also the TOUGH2Viewer point.dat file that will be useful for the next step. Okay, the TOUGH2Viewer has been created. Okay. Now, if you take a look about your folder, inside your folder, now there is another file created by the TOUGH2Viewer. We can close this window, and we can close this window. Now we can visualize the model. View 3D block model. And here we are. We have our model. Obviously, the visualization here is a little bit slow because we have a very high number of elements, more than 100,000. So we can reset the position or obtain a front view. Okay, here we have the front view of the model. We can rotate. Now we are visualizing the volume variable. For the variable, we have the volume, the connection for each element, and plus the information of the pressure and the temperature. In this case, we want to visualize the variable temperature. The graph is updating. I repeat that it is a little bit slow because we have a high number of elements. Okay, and now we get the model painted by the color of the temperature. If you see here, you have another window in which you have the color scale. So red is 311 degrees and the blue one is 16 degrees. By the way, we can also visualize the rock type. That maybe is more interesting. Here is hidden rock types. Okay, we have the rock type. So in this case, for example, we can focus our visualization by removing some rock types, and so we can see better the fracture, for example. So how we can do that? We go to the main menu, tool, option, we go to 3D block model, and we start to remove some materials, like for example this one. Also we can remove this one. We can remove this one, and also we can remove the yellow one. Okay, so in this case we are visualizing just these blocks that have this name on the rock type of the mesh file. Now visualization is more faster because we have lower number of elements to be visualized, and then we can see our model by rock type. Obviously, there are functions for modifying the rock type of certain elements, but in this section I don't show because it's a little bit longer procedure. Here we want to focus just on the visualization of the results. So we can reset the view. And for example, we can get a vertical profile of the temperature. So we go to selecting a block like this block here. A window will appear, and then we want to visualize the temperature against the zeta direction. And here we have the temperature plotted against the zeta direction. I can also add the background material colors, so I will see that my profile, vertical profile, is intersecting several kinds of rocks, rock type, as evidenced by the colors of the 3D visualization here report in 2D visualization. Okay. Now, if we want to have a more, let me say, faster visualization with the other option, we can encapsulate all information given here inside one file to be visualized with ParaView. So I suggest to do that if you have problem on the speed of moving your blocks. So for example, you must go here, must close the model, and we must close TOUGH2Viewer. Now we must reopen again TOUGH2Viewer, and now this time, instead of using the open structure grid, we can use the open abstracted V++ grid. Now here we can select the previous TOUGH2Viewer file. Now we have a TOUGH2Viewer.dat file, so we can use the mesh file. We don't have the TOUGH2 file, so we go to create an empty model, and then we go to icon save, and we select, like before, the icon file. Now you can push this button. You can click on export to V2 beta file. Now I will don't click on this button because the time of computation will be like 10 or 20 minutes, I don't remember. So what you will obtain at the end of this operation, you will obtain this file, these two files, the out.pvd and the out0v2 file. So you need to install in your PC the ParaView software. I have this version. I think now that there are new versions, but it's not important. And you can visualize your model using ParaView. So now you see the rotation and movement of the model is faster because this software is specialized in fast visualization, and you can select your variable to plot. So in this case we have like the temperature like before. You can visualize if you want the blocks edge, but this is not so comfortable with adding the same colors. And you can have, for example, visualization of just your rock type. here. So now again, if you want, you can, for example, create a threshold. For example, we will visualize just the block type number 0. And then we add the block type number 1. And you can proceed to visualize, to visualize other kind of rock type if you need. For example, 3. Rock type. No, 3 I don't like. Okay, and you can go on this kind of visualization. Obviously here we don't have the functions for getting the 2D plot, vertical plot, but we have a lot of possibilities. For example, we can plot the isosurface. So we select, for example, the temperature. We create a new scale. Our temperature is between 16 degrees and 301 degrees. 311, sorry. And here we have the isosurface of the temperature, etc. So I hope that these will help on your work, and I want to add a little short notes that is here. This folder contains just the income file and the mesh file. If we browse to other folders, we will see that we will have other data, not this one, not this one, sorry, not this. Okay, here we have the income file, the mesh file, and we have the initial stresses file. If we open this, we will see that for each element we have a lot of values that, if we want, we can plot with TOUGH2Viewer. Just an observation that the number of elements here is not complete because our model have a higher number of data. So I created a new file and I add just 10 elements just by copying the last one 10 times. So these values are not real because I created, but I need of the same number of record like in the mesh file. Otherwise, they cannot be visualized. So in this case, how we can open this kind of file with TOUGH2Viewer that is just a table, is just a table, we can repeat the loading by making this operation. So we go to File, Open Structure Grid, we browse up to the folder contain our file that now I don't remember case 4. So we load the mesh file, we create an empty model, we select the income file, and here we have a problem because also here the number of elements of this income file is not the same of the mesh file, so we cannot load in this manner. but we can still read the initial stresses file. Sorry, before that we can add this information. So we want to skip 1, 2 lines. Sorry, we must skip 1 line. 1 line, sorry. Okay. Close. And then we can visualize again the model. So in this case, we will have here other variable that we can plot. For example, we go to plot the number 1. I don't know. Little bit slow in updating. Okay, here we get our variable plotted. And then we can continue with the number of variables that are inside the input file. Obviously, there is no header, so we don't know exactly what kind of variable we're plotting, but if we want, we can obviously know the kind of variable that is visualized. Also here we have some function, for example, this for separate the model. As you can see, we can inspect the model very well. Sorry, I was making too much operation. So here we can make the resin position. And then we can select, for example, left view and other operation. We can also get pictures. And we get the picture. Okay, I hope that you enjoyed this video. And also here you can create with the method C before the output for ParaView. And if you need to create an income file that can be read from TOUGH2Viewer, obviously you have to go to, you must be sure that each element have the same number of variable inside. So you can see from here that the last elements don't have the same number of variable like the previous element. So for example, you can copy these lines and remember that during the visualization these values are not from these elements, but are from the element that you copy making this operation. And remember also that the file must be terminated by several empty lines at the end, cannot be finished in this manner. In this case, we will have error on the number of elements. If we add some empty lines, the reading of this file will be okay. I also implemented here the possibility to read the TOUGH React files, but in this case we have several constraints because not all TOUGH React files that I inspected are the same. So if you have some problems in reading this TOUGH React file, you can contact me for obtaining more information. Okay, see you soon. Bye bye.